Welcome back to Cobra Corner. I'm joined now by women's soccer coach here at Parkland College, Josh Alford. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
So our team's off to a great start so far this season, undefeated, 6-0-1. You got the one tie. How are things going so far?
I mean, so far so good. You can never complain when you're winning, obviously. So yeah, so far we're pretty excited about the start, and hopefully we can, keep building and getting better, and go all the way.
Yeah. So what are some things that you've seen so far from your team that you like?
That I like? I mean, we're starting to develop right now that attitude of wanting to win, getting things done, playing the whole 90 minutes. We're starting to get into that now. We've been really happy with how deep we are. So anytime we sub, we still are just as strong. So, that's some stuff that we're really liking and looking forward to.
And there's always things you need to work on, too. What are some things you think you guys need to work on?
Like I said, we're starting to get into that phase where we understand kind of the level that we're at. Girls are starting to understand their role and what they need to do, and the speed of play and the physical nature of taking that next level up into college. So now they're starting to understand that. They're starting to get in that mentality of how to win and get things done. So we're really excited about that. Things to work on still. Just moving the ball quickly, people's roles again, and just always making sure that we finish.
Yeah.
Always making sure we finish.
So, just as a coach, you guys off, like I said, great start, haven't lost a match yet. Is there any type of thing where you have to fight like complacency, or the girls are kind of like, oh man, we're really good, and then they start kind of thinking that things are going to come a little easier than they really do?
Yeah, I mean, we do fight that every day, because all of a sudden, we play a couple teams that we handle or something, then we face a team that's really going to give us a big challenge, and then we're thinking that, we'll just be able to walk over them, and then that complacency that you talk about can kind of bite us, with a lot of freshmen, we got to keep them focused and to bring it every day. Obviously, we don't have that many sophomores returning, so they don't all understand, and we're working on that. But they're getting it now, and we're excited, because if they're getting it now, how good we can be by the end. So we're getting pretty excited.
Said a lot of freshmen, 14 freshmen on your roster.
Yeah.
Talked about some of the key new players on the team.
Oh, I mean, they're all key. I mean,
Sure.
When I said we're a deep bench, I mean we're deep. I mean, key girls. All the freshmen are key this year. We worked really hard recruiting this year, and I think the key is just the core group of girls. We're not trying to solely rely on one or two or three girls, but because we did so much recruiting and we got such a good class in that, if they all buy in, that core group of girls, that's the key right there. So this is the whole team atmosphere. We don't want to rely on the one or two girls. So if somebody goes down with an injury, boom, we have somebody in there going in and doing just as well, if not better at times. So that's
well, you mentioned recruiting, and we kind of talk about it every year, but I think it's kind of a good thing to always touch on is you got a lot of local kids, a lot of Illinois kids, a few from Indiana, but
yeah.
you got one from Miami, Florida, one from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
How do you kind of go about getting people that are that far away?
Yeah, I mean, you have connections with coaches, and they play club, or they might send you a little interest. With the case of Megan from Florida, she showed some interest, talked to the coach, we looked at her, we liked her, and then we made it happen. Casey's from Cincinnati, and I kind of knew her. The club that she played for, went to a tournament, saw her play, and then you build a relationship, and we were able to get her. Priscilla, Brazil. She's looking for a good place to study, like Parkland, and then plus a good program. So then you build a relationship. You see some video. I have some people that I can talk to in Brazil that I know now. They tell me the league and all that good stuff. And this year we have Beatrice, which is one of our goalkeepers, and she's from Brazil. And how do we get her? Well, Priscilla was friends with her, and there's your contacts, and you keep building and networking and stuff like that. And then obviously the other one big is Karen, obviously from Israel, and that was kind of a situation that some things fell through for. And then I knew the coach, and again, boom, now she's here. So
you talked a little bit kind of maybe off the field as far as soccer goes. You have not only all over the United States, but you're international in Brazil, Israel. So that's got to be somewhat good as far as a team kind of learning all the different cultures, getting to know each other. It's a good experience for the girls, I would think.
It's a great experience. Sometimes it's a little awkward and difficult, but once people understand that there is a different culture and how things work, I think that makes them better people. That's here. Get life experiences also through soccer and through Parkland. Just not studying, not just playing soccer, but also understanding other people's culture and stuff. I think that builds a lot of character and builds a person also. So yeah, it's been great. I think for our local or American players per se to be able to experience some other cultures and stuff like that.
Okay, and while we're off the field, one thing we wanted to touch on, one of your sophomores, Crystal Torres, you
Yes.
made a comment that she was elected as the student government president here at Parkland?
Yeah, we are super proud about that. I think she's the first athlete ever to receive that honor, and we're super proud that she's also a women's soccer player for the team, and we're super excited. I know she's going to go do good things and represent the college really, really well. So super excited for Crystal, and yeah, we're just hoping that she does a great job.
That's great. All right, so let's go back on the field now. You're kind of well into your season here, kind of starting to hit some conference games. What are some key conference teams that you should look out for?
Well, our next game this Sunday is huge at 1 o'clock here at home. We're playing Lewis and Clark, and the past year, 2 years, it's come down to us and Lewis and Clark for the regional title to who moves on to district and then to national. So this is a huge game that whoever wins this game will probably wind up one or two in the region for the regional tournament. So that's a huge game. Then after that, we have obviously Swick and then Kaskaskia, and then I believe we are done with our regional play for our seeding. But those three games are key games for us. So the Lewis and Clark, Swick, and Kaskaskia games are going to be huge, and we have Lewis and Clark right around the corner. So. Sure. Hopefully we can make a statement, and hopefully the girls will leave it all on the field.
All right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a women's soccer team's ever made it to the national tournament as of yet. Here at Parkland, is that correct?
No.
And I know you guys were super close. Not like 2 years ago, you were one game in the championship game, right?
Yeah, last year we lost to Lewis and Clark to get there,
right.
And we lost 2-1. We had a great year last year, and we're looking to, go all the way and get to nationals and so forth and so on. We've been taking it day by day, but we do have one team and one goal, and that is to get to nationals. And then once they're at nationals, let's make a name for ourselves.
And obviously, I said your fourth year, but you have some help too. Talk about some of the assistants that are helping you out.
Yeah, I mean, this year it's great. We added on Jonathan Hines. He used to play at Centennial and then played Division I at Eastern Illinois with Adam Howarth over there. And it's been great to have him. He's a young guy, energetic, a lot of knowledge, enthusiastic, so, a lot of energy and, knows how to do things right and can relate to the girls. He's a little bit younger, so he can still relate to the girls, and that's great to have on the team. And then we have Adam Jenkins is still on, but he's more volunteer-based, so, it's when he can make it, he comes out, but he's still around. And Joe Bales, it's the second year that I've been working with him, and he does a lot of cross-country and marathon stuff and stuff like that, and he does all the strength and conditioning for the girls, and he's been tremendous. I mean, the level of fitness that he gets the girls in pre-season and then keeps in touch with them throughout the season and works with them in the off-season has been phenomenal. He's been a great help to the program, and I think that's one of the reasons we've taken that next step, because we have a professional in that whole conditioning and strength area. So that's huge.
When you say strength and conditioning, we got a new fitness center here at Parkland. It's really state-of-the-art facility.
It's beautiful.
Talk about how that helps out your team.
Yeah, we used it a little bit in the preseason this year. Obviously, things were getting wrapping up with the construction. So, we weren't able to use it, as much as we wanted to. But, now we just got on the whole routine of girls going and using it and Joe providing that workout schedule. And so we're taking full advantage of that new fitness center. It's beautiful, and I know the girls are really enjoying it. I know, well, all the coaches are enjoying and all our athletes are really enjoying it. And it's a great addition to Parkland and to the students at Parkland also. It's phenomenal.
Good luck the rest of the season.
appreciate
I
it.
wish you luck, and hopefully you guys can get over that hump and make it to nationals
Yeah.
this year.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
When we come back, we'll have volleyball coach Cliff Hastings. Welcome back to Cobra Corner. I'm joined now by head women's volleyball coach here at Parkland College, Cliff Hastings. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, you bet.
So, guys, off to a good start. Number 9 in the nation, 17-6. I know you had some tough games really early on in the schedule, but I saw you're just coming off the Kankakee Invitational, which you guys essentially dominated. So it looks like your team's kind of rounded into shape there.
Yeah, but by far our toughest schedule to start of the 4 years I've been here. I think our first maybe 12, 14 matches, only 2 of them weren't against ranked opponents, so it was a very tough schedule early on. We came out better for it. We are a young group this year. We're very freshman heavy. So for them to play the best in the country, to see how much commitment and work ethic it takes to not only play with them but exceed past where they are as well, was great for our team. So it was a great learning experience. We came out with an okay record, and we've been by far better since then.
Yeah, so as a coach, you guys have had a lot of success. You've been in the Nationals all 3 years that you've been coaching.
Yep.
So when you're putting the schedule together, I don't know if you can always make that work, but it's got to be something in your mind that you want to be putting some stiff competition in there.
Yeah, you're right. And the tournaments we go to gives us lots of great opportunity to see those top 20 teams, kind of tournament in and tournament out. The thing that's been different this year, the first couple of tournaments, we got matched up with much tougher and much better teams than those tournaments early on in previous years have been. So same tournaments, just a higher caliber of teams have been coming to those tournaments and then matched up with us early on. So I was okay with it, but it was a battle to start the season with.
Sure, and probably some of those teams, you guys make it to Nationals again, you'll probably be seeing them later down the road, right?
Absolutely. I think, I took a look this past week at the top 20 teams, and the top 16 teams, we have all been kind of beating each other pretty regularly. Any of those teams can come out in the end as a winner, and that's pretty atypical for us. The past couple of years, 3 years ago, there was kind of a top 5 group that nobody else could win minus the 5 of us. And then it kind of went to 8 or 10, and then kind of a 10 or 12. And this year it's further expanded. So there's no team that's completely dominant and away from the rest of the teams, but that's a much bigger group that's been in the hunt. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's talk about your roster a little bit. 9 freshmen, 4 sophomores, so you have a lot of newcomers this year.
Yeah. Freshmen are tough. You have that many freshmen dominating the team. It's a lot of fun because there's a lot of wide-eyed excitement about it, and they're really ready to get the season started early on. But I don't think sophomores understand the level of commitment needed, the difficulty in the teams we're going to face, and freshmen are just kind of going through the motions and kind of excited for the whole experience. Playing such tough teams early have matured those freshmen immensely. They've worked extremely hard in practices to get at a level that the sophomores have already experienced in a year, and it's brought our team to a new level, which is good. But having 9 freshmen and 4 sophomores is a bit of a imbalance that was made some gray hairs pop up this year more than others.
I'm sure. So let's talk about those 4 sophomores then. I'm sure they were looked upon to be some leaders when the freshmen came in.
Yeah, so we have Shelby Gears, who's our main offensive weapon in the middle. She's currently leading the country in kills, total number of kills and total number of blocks. So offensively and defensively, she has been a national leader and obviously a great leader for us this year. The other 3, Megan Charnett is our libero, and then Dana Belcher and Jessica Galata are 2 DSs. The 3 of them, by far and away, are the best defensive trio, best serve receive, best defense in the back row of any team we've played against thus far. So they give us a lot of stability, and that's what sophomores should do. It should give a lot of stability, should be big and big points. Shelby's our kind of glitz and glamour girl. She gets all the headlines of the big numbers, the kills, the blocks, etc. But Megan, Dana, and Jessica provide such stability for us on the court as well as off the court also.
So next year it'll be kind of like the reversal, so such is the life of junior college sports, right?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, last year we had 7 freshmen and 3 did not return. 1 transferred and is playing at a 4-year school already. 1 decided she wanted to focus on academics, and then 1 decided to take a year off, and that's fine. So, you know, of those 9 freshmen, I never know what that number is going to be next year, but if those 9 come back, it will be a wonderful thing to have a large group that understand it, kind of been through before, opposed to a small group.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, like I said, you're 17-6. Good part of the way through your schedule. What about some of the key games coming up with region competitors and conference competitors?
Yeah, you know, already there's only 5 teams in our conference, so it's a small conference. We're 3-0 in the conference, only 1 match left conference-wise. But as far as key matches coming up, this weekend is our Parkland tournament. It's our one big tournament here at home. We've got ICC Friday morning already. And they're, of course, you know, always a great team, always a great competitor, so I'm looking forward to that match a lot. On Saturday of the tournament, then we play Kirkwood, and we've already lost to them early on in the season, so looking forward to a rematch against them. Looking down the schedule a little bit, we have a number of other top 10 teams. We have Oakland, who we've already lost to earlier in the season. We have Owens, who we did not play, but they're ranked number 3 or 4 so far in the country. So we've got some nice opportunities to get some wins against teams we've either tripped up early against, or we just haven't played yet. And to reiterate where we were to start with so many freshmen to where we are now, those freshmen matured so much, and I think we'll give a much better run to some of these teams.
So a good opportunity to see how much your team has grown then.
Absolutely. And as you noted to start this with the Kankakee tournament, you know, we had a great tournament that weekend. Not the top teams that we've seen other weekends, but I could tell our team was clicking much more cleanly, much more efficiently than what we had early on. So I could see that growth regardless of the opponent.
We were talking before we came on October 10th, you have a match and there's a special event going on with the CU Special Recreation Group. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that is our final conference match against Danville here at home, October 10th. It's a Wednesday night at 6 p.m. One of our community service projects we love to do is work with the Champaign-Urbana Special Recreation Group, and it's a wonderful group of people who throughout the year they do different athletic events. Volleyball is their fall sport. So they come to Parkland, we kind of teach them, you know, things on volleyball and get them some reps in, and we play with them and just have a lot of fun with these people. And they're going to come that Wednesday night, and we're going to celebrate them, celebrate who they are, and have to let them scrimmage a little bit. I know they appreciate it because they're very excited to work with the Parkland girls and get some attention, you know, from them. We love it. It's such a great learning experience that, you know, we have all these great God-given abilities to perform, and then there's people who are not given those same luxuries at birth, and it really gets you to appreciate what you've got, and it's great for us.
Great opportunity for the girls too, as kind of like some off-the-court learning besides learning what it is to play volleyball. There's some other things, some other lessons being learned.
Absolutely. Parkland's so great for them on the court, so great for them in the classroom. I try to give them some good community opportunities as well, and this is a great one for them.
Okay, one last thing before we go, I wanted to mention some of your assistant coaches. Gia Smallwood, though, obviously made the Olympics this year. That had to be pretty fun for you guys.
Absolutely. Gia is she's top 10 ranked in the world in discus, and she qualified for the Olympics this year, and so we got a chance to really support her and get excited for her. But I do blame her a little bit for our start this year. With her being gone so much, we didn't get enough Gia time to get those freshmen kind of whipped into shape, and so I give her a hard time with that. But no, we're extremely proud of her and proud to be a part of that.
I guess Olympics probably worth a slow start, huh?
Yeah, that's what she says.
All right, well, thanks a lot for being on the show, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right. When we come back, we'll have men's soccer coach Mark Sikora.
Catch live play-by-play coverage of Parkland sports. Live the action live. CobraSports.net.
Welcome back to Cobra Corner. I'm joined now by head men's soccer coach here at Parkland College, Mark Sikora. Thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure.
So how many years here now at Parkland for you?
I'm just started my 7th.
Just started your 7th year. And you guys are about 10 games in. You're 5-4-1. Tell me about how your season's gone so far.
Kind of, obviously I would like to have more wins than I do, but I feel like things are going in the right direction. a lot of the new guys are certainly now getting used to class and getting used to the travel and stuff like that. So we're starting to play very well as a team, which, this is the right time to do it. So as we get into the heavy part of our region schedule and then see it all the way through, hopefully through the regional tournament, a lot of the kind of roadblocks we had in the beginning should be hopefully taken care of by now.
All right. So we talked a little bit before we started about your schedule and kind of how you had it set up. You lost your first 3 games of the year, but to some very good opponents, and they're all 1-goal games.
Yeah, I set up a pretty tough non-region schedule. A lot of the top teams out of their own particular region, so out of Michigan, out of Ohio, out of Missouri. And the results were close, except for maybe the Michigan game where we kind of had a brain freeze for about 20 minutes, and that really did us in. But, 2-1 games, 1-0 games, at that point of the season, I'll take that because I think there's a lot of learning process and for the new guys to get used to the style of play and how hard it is in college. It tells me that we were going in the right direction. It was hard for them because obviously they want to see results and they want to see wins. But at the same time, I set it up that way because I want to be peaking towards the middle end of the region season. And if we can look back and say, well, we played against some of the top teams in the country and we did pretty well, there's just a few things that we forgot. Well, hopefully that bodes well when we start to prepare for the region.
Sure, and since those first 3 losses, 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, so.
Yeah, we've been in every match, and we've kind of, we found ways to win games with a lot of different, players, and that's good. It's not just where we're depending on one guy or another to kind of bail us out at different times. Different guys have stepped up, and everybody's kind of done their role, and they now know what the role is, and they've seen success. So, we want to keep going with that and ride that enthusiasm, who knows how far.
Okay, and one more thing about the schedule. I know Labor Day, you had Kick for the Cure. Second year, is that right? That you've been
Yeah,
now?
year 2. The biggest change is we changed venue. We started working with the Urbana High School. They had 2 brand new fields and lights and turf and really state-of-the-art stuff. And so through working with a friend of mine who also does bigger events and he's a big soccer fan, we want to, I think change some things up a little bit. Didn't quite get the amount of money I was hoping for Cancer Society, but I think in the long run, what we can build there is really going to help out. We still brought in top teams. We had 9 college teams there, and we're going to probably trim it to 8 next year. And we're also going to we'd like to have a high school equivalent, a piece in there. So really from Friday to Sunday, it'll be all soccer in this state-of-the-art facility, and it's going to be great for community and our players certainly. So we're going to keep rolling with that.
So let's talk about your roster a little bit. Pretty balanced with freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, we had, unfortunately, you have a situation where we had about, I think, 5 guys from last year's roster didn't return for multitude of reasons. So, we really had to recruit hard this year to bring in guys that we felt like could step in right away. So we had a larger freshman class than normal. I know on the schedule or roster it seems like we're kind of balanced, but in actuality, we have a lot of freshmen and a lot of first-year guys to Parkland, a couple transfers from 4-year schools, and we have a couple guys because of new international rules that we're only going to be able to keep for a year. So when you put it in those terms, we've got kind of 1-year guys, I say, as new guys. Really, we're more freshman-oriented than not.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see, like, when I look at all the rosters for the different sports here at Parkland, soccer is by far really the biggest roster of players, so you really have to recruit more players than some of the other
Yeah,
athletes.
well, baseball might have us. They're close, especially when they get, 9 pitchers or whatever they have on their roster. But, yeah, we have a roster of 23, 24 about every year. And it might seem like a lot, but I found in years we need everyone. And, you just never know. And oftentimes with our sport, maybe more than any others, that injuries are pretty prevalent. And at different times, it can be minor or major, but at the same time, it's still that we need to be deep in a lot of different positions, and we need to have guys that are good enough to be flexible. So, yeah, we kind of keep it large for that reason.
Sure. All right, so let's talk about your schedule a little bit, and kind of the teams in the region or in the conference that you kind of are looking out for this year.
Yeah, we've played 3 region matches, so we got another 5 left, and we got some heavy hitters still to go. It looks like right now that Lincoln Land is kind of the one that everybody's chasing. So we still have to go through them, and we'll play ICC this Saturday. So it's always tough in our region. I think a handful of teams out of 9 could really, somehow or another put the right run together. But like I said, I think Lincoln Land right now is showing that they've had the most consistent. They haven't lost yet, so that's good and bad. I mean, it's bad because that means we know we have to really be at the top of our game, but it's good because we still have them on the schedule, and hopefully we'll be able to catch them at the right time. So that's pretty much going to carry us through the rest, or through October, and then we'll do regional seeding and stuff like that. My hope, my plan is to still be number 1, and if not, we're close, so we're in the conversation, and we'll just kind of go from there.
All right. So you said it was your 4th year, right?
7.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry about that. 7th year. So is there something that, like, every year, I'm sure it's kind of always different, but there's something that you've changed from when you began, or things that you're doing differently that you've learned from your 7 years?
Well, I guess unfortunately working with a bunch of 19, 20, maybe even older guys, that there's always a new curveball. And I've been lucky. I've got great assistant coaches to help me, just kind of deal with the day-to-day stuff. And most of it's pretty similar. If there's anything, there's a change in the reports that we have to do. A lot of the soccer stuff that changes a lot. Whether it start with the NJCAA and the requirements they have for each team and each coach. So they help me out. Certainly keep all those things in mind. The game and the approach that we take is relatively been the same, though. Guys, work hard, they compete, they do well in the classroom, and after that, hopefully the results come. So the planning, the sessions that we do, certainly that might change a little bit depending on the personnel and the skill set. But overall, we have kind of the same idea of when we want to do things in the season, and when to really ramp it up, when to back it down. Probably the biggest change we've had that way has been the inclusion of our fitness center, and really trying to maximize that space during season. And that's something that we obviously haven't been able to do to this level. So we've been using that a lot. It's good for the guys to do some variety of activities and to do kind of more recovery lifting and stuff like that. And honestly, for it's been there we've been using it for about a month and a half, I've seen huge dividends. It's cutting down on our injuries. It's keeping them fresh a bit. It helps us have some flexibility on what we can do and still work them hard, but yet, just give them some variety.
Yeah, we just had the ribbon cutting for that just the other day, and a wonderful facility. It's going to be great for not just the athletes, but staff and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's state of the art, and I want them to feel, and for a student athlete to feel like the athletic department cares, the school cares, and part of that is just providing the space for these guys and make them feel like they're training, with top facilities, and the training room is great, and honestly, I feel like it carries over to how they carry themselves and how they see themselves as student athletes at Parkland.
All right, so one last thing before we go. Obviously, I'm sure your hope is to get to Nationals, but kind of tell me what you're hoping for the end of the season here.
I always say I want to go to Nationals, but at the same time, I also want guys to not forget the little things on how to do that, and to be eligible, to be able to handle the problems of being a student athlete. But lastly, I'd probably say work up to their potential, because there is a tremendous amount of potential with this group. And if we do those things, there is a good possibility that we could do it. If we don't, along the lines, it's going to make things tougher. I think getting the Nationals would be a great reward for doing things right, and hopefully they can see that, and like I said, play up to their potential and just roll the dice. I mean, there's so much variable in what you can and can't do, and at the end of the day, I just want to see them walk out of here and say, hey, we did the best that we could, and if that means we got the Nationals, we won a national title, so be it. If not, the time that we spent was, there were no regrets, and we put it all out there, and we gave ourselves a chance.
All right, sounds great. So, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure.
All right, that's it for this edition of Cobra Corner. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 351-2475. Thanks for watching.